Lines is returning to our screens. If your telephone number comes up, phone in to see if you can join the show, where you could win the holiday of your dreams. Your phone can take you a long way. Winning Lines with the National Lottery Draws Live, Saturday at 7:30 on BBC One. This year, anyone could win the Open Championship. Come on. Someone's bound to get carried away. The Open Championship starts Thursday at 9, continuing all day, interactive on BBC Two and BBC Radio 5 Live. Come on.
So what do you do all day? Meet the hairdressers hoping to launch their own product range in an hour. First on BBC One, expect some strong language when you're trying to kick a constant craving.
Getting off it is staying off it, and that's my main battle at the moment, staying off it.
There is that saying, once a junkie, always a junkie. You know, I'm just hoping to prove that wrong. Got to sort it out now, or I'm not going to be around for much longer.
I've been given this chance now for this Thailand trip, and I have to make it. It's either now or never.
This is like the last stop, you know, and the last time that I'll be doing this, and actually sorting my life out. Drug rules my life, and like married to it, like married to Mr. Heroin. You are, that comes first before anything. You are basically attached to it, bound to it, tied to it, struck to it, any which way to it, every which way.
Rebecca is a heroin addict and has been taking drugs for the last 15 years. She's tried to give up 7 times, but has always relapsed. Now, aged 29, she's determined to break her addiction.
I think you know and feel when it's the right time. I seem to have come to some sort of, I don't know what it is, but some sort of point I feel very much that I want to give up. I want to stop. I just want to know what normal feels like again, because I can't remember what it feels like. Nice.
Like many heroin users, Rebecca is also addicted to a range of other drugs, including Valium, crack, and the heroin substitute, methadone. She has recently returned to live with her family near Henley in Berkshire after years of living on the road as a New Age traveller. She hopes that with their help and support, she'll be able to turn her back on heroin once and for all through a radical detoxification program based in Thailand.
She is desperate to come off. She's reached a stage in her life that I thought she would reach at 18. And it's kind of like she's grown up overnight and she wants more. She wants a real life. She's frightened. Don't get me wrong, she's petrified of reality. She hasn't seen reality since she was 15 years old. But she wants to experience reality. She doesn't know what it is to live in the real world as an adult. She only ever lived in it as a child.
Heroin use has rocketed in recent years, and the drug is accessible in all areas of Britain. It's estimated that drug addiction costs the UK £19 billion a year. Simon is one of 120,000 known heroin addicts. Now 22, he started injecting 4 years ago.
All of the people that I was hanging around with in Lambourne got hooked. I would say near enough, about 98% addicted to heroin. 3 have died. The deaths of our friends that have died is made known. impact on us trying to get off it. It's a nasty way of life, and to get involved in it is just the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Simon lives at home with his mother Leslie and younger brother Nick in the small Berkshire village of Lambourne.
I'm going to get some water for those poor flowers.
I dabbled it when I was 12, 13, but then left it alone for a few years, and then I joined the army. I joined the parachute regiment, and that as a means to getting out of the road that I could see that all my friends were going down and that I was heading down.
He passed out as a paratrooper, which of course, yeah, I was very proud of him when he did that. And it was, that was really good. And he settled into his army career and was doing very, very well. He came home for the weekend on leave, and there was some contaminated heroin which he got hold of and used, and we nearly lost him.
Basically went out for a drink with all my friends and everyone was using. Went back to a friend's house, used, had an overdose, and I was in hospital for a week and a half, and the army found out, and then obviously I got kicked out of the army for about one weekend of a heroin overdose.
When Simon came back into the environment, I think that was really the very worst thing that could have happened to him. It was all so very easy just to slot back into that way of life again, probably feeling very depressed and very disappointed about what had happened.
The last 2-3 years have been hell because I've been an addict. Ruined my mum's life, ruined the last 3 years of my little brother's life, my life, and most of the people, relatives that know me really.
The drug is everything in their life. It's their God. You know, the only thing that's important in life is your next fix. That's all that matters, is the next fix. And that sometimes gets really hard. Doctors for your medical, haven't you? So we've got
Rebecca needs to take £20 worth of heroin every day just to be able to get out of bed and function normally. Although her parents are desperate for her to give up, they've agreed to pay for her drugs to keep her stable and out of trouble until she detoxes.
Basically, I know that if I don't give up soon, I'm lucky to still be alive now. I've had 3 ODs. I'm addicted to sticking needles in myself, and it's horrible, it's sick, but I enjoy it, the whole thing. From getting the stuff, you know, once I've got the stuff in my pocket, I want to do it straight away. I went my arms, my legs, my feet, I even did my neck. That went, collapsed, veins. So now I've had to start using my groin, which is the last. I swore I'd never ever use my groin. You know, just want to put that needle in, and you see that blood coming into the syringe, and you know you've got it in a vein, and you know you can push it in, and there's instant relief, basically. And instantly you can feel it going through your whole body. Sort of get a tingling sensation through your whole body. Instantly, well within a few seconds of it getting pumping around your body, especially with going to groin, because the closer it is to your heart, obviously, the quicker you feel it. Yeah, that wasn't a massive, as much as I'd like to do, because I can't afford to do as much as I'd like to do, so I actually get a hit off it, an actual real buzz off it. To get an actual whole buzz off it, I'd actually have to put the whole £20 worth in there, but you know, it was enough, it's enough to take the edge off and make me feel better, and I was feeling a lot better.
I just can't help her. You know, and it really gets to you. I can't do what I want to do. You know, I'd love to pick her up and cuddle her and take away her pain for her. I can't do that. I'd love to take her away somewhere and make it all better. I can't do that. I'd love to have been able to do it years ago, so all these years of her life where she's been on this goddamned awful drug could have been wiped away and she could have been doing something with her life, not wandering from one fix to another fix to another fix.
Just want out. I just want my life back, to be able to wake up in the morning. I don't know what it feels like to be able to wake up in the morning, not have to shove a needle in me or take that horrible methadone.
Rebecca is undergoing counselling to make sure she meets the strict criteria laid down by East-West Detox, the organisation which will take her to a monastery in Thailand for her next attempt to break her addiction.
In the West, we tend to suppress the demons, as it were, within.
The charity is run by NHS drug worker Mike Sarson. He has to raise £3,000 for every addict he takes there.
I've done enough home detoxes as well, you know, before in the past. That just hasn't worked. The reducing of methadone, that hasn't worked. Tried Detox 5, that didn't work. So I'm just really hoping that I get my life back after this one.
The monastery of Tamkrabok offers a very different approach from Western detoxes and is not an easy option for addicts. But of the 20 people Mike has already taken there, 17 remain drug-free.
The success rate in the West is very low. Most people relapse very quickly afterwards, and a lot of people don't actually complete the detox because, you know, once they start to feel any pain or discomfort, they can just discharge themselves at a whim. I've worked for the NHS for a community drugs team for nearly 10 years now, and I certainly don't see the client loads decreasing. They're actually increasing, and people are becoming younger and younger.
This lack of success in treating heroin users drove Mike to seek alternative ways of helping people beat their addiction.
I just feel that rather than working very separately, you know, like the Europe working in this very clinical medical sort of model, that we could actually learn from each other. Tamkrabok, it provides a therapeutic space where one can learn the discipline to change the habit.
I'm just basically really looking forward to it, but also very scared because I know it's not going to be easy, you know, by any stretch of the imagination, because unlike the last detox I did, I'm not knocked out for the painful bit. I'm going to be going right through the painful bit, which I think is better because you experience all the pain.
Simon is also preparing to go to Thailand with East-West Detox. Having tried and failed 4 times to come off heroin in this country, he's now ready to try a different approach. Having already thrown away a promising army career, his addiction also led him into theft to fund his habit.
I was in prison for a year. I managed to get off heroin and I stayed clean for a year. Got all my senses back, got my whole strength of mind back, and basically said to myself, I'm never going to touch that sick stuff again, ever. And then come out of prison, 2 weeks later I'm using again.
Like many parents, Leslie found herself completely unable to fight against the power of the drug over her family, and was devastated to discover that her eldest son also became addicted.
I've got as low as anyone could get. I've been suicidal at times. You know, you can't see any end to it. And you're so worried for that. And I come in and you don't know whether you're going to find them dead or, you know, because that's what they're playing around with, isn't it? You know, they're really messing about with their lives.
For 3 years, Leslie battled against her son's addiction before finally deciding on a tough love approach.
My mother threw me out of home, me and my older brother, and we were living in a car for a while. No job, no money, and withdrawing, sat there. We were just at our lowest of low, and that was when it really hit home for the first time. You know what I mean, you really have messed up.
It proved a turning point. Simon's brother moved away from the village and has managed to give up by himself. Simon agreed to tackle his addiction and Leslie allowed him home. He was put on a methadone program, the prescribed heroin substitute which he needs to take every day, although like many addicts he continues to crave and use heroin as well.
I don't think methadone's the answer, personally. I think it helps to stabilise their lives, because obviously their lives do become so haphazard at times, and I think they realise that. So methadone is a prop, I think. You know, it stops them then having to resort to crime, and so that's where methadone comes in, but it is not, I don't think it helps them with their addiction at all.
After weeks of counselling with Mike, Simon is now realising that his addiction is not just a physical problem.
Do you think, you know, around the mental side?
Any of the withdrawal I've gone from, I'm not worried about the physical side of it, like I said before, and I'm going to concentrate on the mental side of things this time, which I've not done before on my detoxes, which I think is why I failed before, because I've never battled the mental side of things, you know what I mean? That is what I definitely want to concentrate on this time. I've been given this chance now for this Thailand trip, and I have to make it. It's either now or never. I've never been religious, but I do tend to feel sometimes that maybe something up there, you know what I mean? I said, look, right, you know what I mean, one more chance. Not getting off it, it's staying off it, and that's my main battle at the moment, staying off it.
Just want to get on with it and do it. I think the longer you had to think about it, the more less likely you'd be able to go, I think, because if you're dwelling on it too much, you never succeed. And this is the last stop, you know, and the last time that I'll be doing this and actually sorting my life out. Not being a junkie, basically, for the rest of my life.
He's got a goal now. He's got something to work to. He can see a way of actually being able to move his life on.
What Thailand and East West Detox are offering is not an easy option. It's a very, very difficult option. But hopefully, I pray so much, it will work.
On their 2-week trip to the Thai monastery, Rebecca and Simon will be accompanied by Mike Sarson and one of his colleagues. Mike doesn't think that Thailand will work for all heroin addicts, but does believe it's important to detox people only when they are ready.
There's no point in bringing people halfway around the world if they're only half-heartedly wanting to address their problem. So to look at people's motivation is very, very important.
The Buddhist monastery of Tamkrapok is located in remote wooded hills 2 hours north of Bangkok. It's home to 300 monks. Nearly half are former addicts who now devote themselves to helping others. The first addicts came here 50 years ago, and now the monks have treated more than 100,000 people, mostly Thai, but 10% have come from the West. To help the physical withdrawal from heroin, the monks use a secret potion of 108 herbs and barks. No painkillers or other drugs are offered to addicts. They are forced to feel the full effects of withdrawal. Vital, the monks believe, in helping to prevent relapse. At Tamkrapok, they believe that no addict, is beyond redemption.
The journey has a great significance, has parallels of, for example, taking a pilgrimage to somewhere like perhaps Lourdes to actually go through a healing process.
Fra Hans, a Buddhist monk from Switzerland, is in charge of the welfare of the European arrivals.
Early they will wake you up. Yeah. 5:30.
Handing over their passports, money and possessions, Rebecca and Simon sign themselves into the care of the monks for the next 2 weeks. There is now no going back. It's 10 p.m. and after travelling for 18 hours, Rebecca and Simon are taken straight to the Sacha temple, where they take a sacred vow to give up drugs for the rest of their lives.
ข้าพเจ้า ขอถวาย สัจจะ เฮโรอีน มอร์ฟีน กัญชา
Next, they are taken for their first dose of the herbal medicine, a ritual they will have to undergo for the next 5 days.
First you get a little cup. That's the medicine. You drink 1 cup and then you wait a couple of minutes. Then you take 3, then vomit 3. A medicine that makes you vomit. You should keep it in order that...
The monks claim the medicine not only eases withdrawal but helps speed up the elimination of toxins from the body. Rebecca and Simon have to hold the medicine down to let the herbs start their work. They are then encouraged to drink as much water as they can. Addicts who have already completed the detoxification process chant anti-drug songs of encouragement to the new arrivals.
I didn't know what to expect last night. We got there and then went straight down to do the medicine, and they were chanting and singing, and then I was all up for it, and then as soon as it went down, I could just feel it coming straight back up, and nothing can prepare you for that. I'll tell you, it's horrible. It's horrible.
It's hard to explain. It's nasty medicine that hits the bottom of your stomach that you can taste really bad, and you've got to hold it in for 10 minutes. And then drink loads and loads and loads of that horrible water. But if it was just water, it might be alright, but it's not. So that's why I had to chuck loads of it down my neck to make me drink more of it, because that makes you sick. and I couldn't drink so much of it, so we were tipping it down my neck. But actually being sick I found really hard.
Everything's kicking in, the sweat, not sleeping last night, it is, my legs are killing me. Snivels, everything, you know what I mean? It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Unlike Simon, Rebecca is showing no signs of starting to withdraw and sleeps for most of the day.
Rebecca's trip on the airline was very different to Simon. Simon was very motivated, and also he was quite adamant about not using his medication if he could, because, you know, obviously the more medication or the more methadone you use, the more withdrawals one is going to experience.
Rebecca has been taking methadone for the last 15 years. Her detoxification will take longer than Simon's and be more painful.
There are more and more people coming here to come off methadone, and it's far more difficult to come off it compared to heroin. The length of time that one has to go through withdrawal is definitely far longer than coming off heroin.
By the end of the first day, and with no methadone for over 40 hours, Simon is feeling totally washed out.
Even lifting my arms is an effort, everything's an effort. But yeah, you go through stages of this, 1 minute you feel like it's, the next minute you know what I mean, you do pick up a bit. And then maybe half an hour later, like now I'm feeling low. But maybe in half an hour I'll pick up a bit, you know what I mean, hopefully. And that's just how it goes, you know.
At dawn, Simon and Rebecca join 5 other addicts for their next dose of medicine. Of the 200 addicts able to be detoxed here at any one time, most are Thai, who are treated for free. It's difficult to establish how successful this treatment is, although one Australian study of 400 addicts taken to the monastery concluded that after 1 year, less than 30% had relapsed.
Your whole body comes alive again. Like now my legs are killing me, my arms are killing me. Yeah, I feel totally shattered where I've not slept, but I can't sleep. Everything to my touch is really sensitive. Smells, the local smell is disgusting at the moment. The food, everything I can smell is horrible. Rebecca just seems to be sleeping a lot at the moment. She's been on it a lot longer, doing a lot more. So I think it's just taking a bit longer to come out of her system. I think she'll start feeling a bit rough today. And vomiting, she does find difficult. People do the medicine and drink the water, they just can't vomit. You have to get that herbal medicine back up, or you just get a really bad stomach.
Rebecca is still coming down from the cocktail of drugs she took before leaving.
Why aren't I detoxing yet? Because I didn't realise that Valium could stay in your system that long. But then Mike said it's the amount I took. He thought I only had 50 ml, whereas I had 90 ml. Plus I had 40 pounds of heroin the day I left instead of 20. Plus I had about 100 ml of methadone the day I left as well. More than that, 100 before I left, and then about 50 on the flight, so about 150 ml of meth as well. But our hands told me that basically I'm going to suffer probably more than Simon anyway, because of the amount of years I've been taking methadone. I could have up to 48 days without sleep. isn't a very nice thought. Gagging for drink. Nice cold vodka orange. I'm not worried about drugs, I just like a drink.
To further aid the process, addicts are given special tea and herbal pills throughout the day. They all have a strict routine which includes daily herbal steam baths to help cleanse the body and heal the skin. The monks turn no one away and detox up to 400 addicts a month.
The facilities here are basic, but it really brings you down to earth, and you know, you're not stuck in a ward in a hospital with medics all around you. You're actually with up to maybe 200 people doing the same thing, and everyone's supporting each other.
Fra Hans, a practicing Buddhist, found his spiritual home at Tamkrabok after years of travelling. He believes that the fight against addiction is both physical and mental.
We know that in the West the success rate in rehabs is about 2%. And there are a lot of stories that Tamkrabok is 80% or whatever. This is hard to say. The physical detoxification is only 5%, and the mental work they have to do is 95%. And if they can take modest support, we can give them the chance is quite high that they will be successful. People from the West, they come in a much more difficult state. Somebody who has lived 15 years on the street and has sacrificed everything, including character, personality, to the drugs, these are people who are really in such a bad shape that they must start far below zero. Rebuild everything slowly, their inner structure, their outer structure. And these people, they might need years and years of therapy.
Simon and Rebecca will receive additional help in residential rehab centres when they return to the UK. But during their time at the monastery, Fra Hans will guide and counsel them.
2 weeks, you know, is not a long time.
No.
Seen for a whole life, you know, it's a very short time. What I wanted to say is, you know, your process you're going through, you have a certain amount of choice how difficult it will be or not. And the decisive thing is that you find little tricks. You have to find little things that help you go through it. Don't be too passive. I mean, you are two fighters here. You are challenged. You want to fight the thing. You want to win. So you will have to do the first move.
It's the end of the second day and Rebecca continues to sleep. Expecting a bad night, Simon has moved to an empty room. Simon's aching limbs and restlessness are a sign that his physical withdrawal has started to peak.
That's exactly what I said to John. I said that's a good thing about this time round. I'm surrounded by people a lot older than myself with life experience, that know what they're talking about, and are talking positively and want me to do well, instead of people my own age that can't wait to go to school with the next bag and that. It just feels so much, it feels right this time. It feels so right.
Good.
I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I can't stand that life.
Yeah.
I can't see how anyone could not just be happy living on it, because I'm just not happy living on it. I hate it.
Here they are so far away from their milieu, you know, from their dealers, from their friends, from their habits. They are in a total different world, and so they can see things from a bigger distance. But it's the surroundings here, you know, being a monastery, that
helps people feel that there is something else than drugs. In breathing, out breathing. Try to exhale the dark things, and when you inhale, try to inhale the light. Where is the most pain, like on this part?
Yeah, all down the legs.
Yeah, it's quite hard.
Yeah, it's very stiff, very stiff.
Tell me when I do it.
That feels good.
When I do it. I mean, Simon was I think, kind of elite soldier, parachutist, used like climbing mountains or jumping out of airplanes and to endure maybe pain and to know he will reach the top. Does this hurt you? And when one talks with him about facing the opponent, he knows what it means. It's a very tough challenge for these people. Really a tough challenge. They feel where drugs have led them. The drugs are a kind of a credit of artificial happiness or whatever, relief. Then one day one has to pay it back. And to suffer is one way to pay it back.
After a sleepless and difficult night, Simon is not spared the dawn ritual.
It needs a radical confrontation with what they have done to themselves, what they have done to their bodies, what they have done to their families. The amount of damage they have done to their life.
Let's do it. Hate it. Really fucking hate it. Really hate it. Constantly on my mind, I've got to do it again tomorrow. Felt like running away this morning. If I had my passport, my money, I probably would have done. Now I feel too ill to do anything. I just can't drink that water. It's rainwater and it's full of bits. It tastes foul and it smells over there. So your smell senses come back and it stinks over there.
When drug addicts start to de-hibernate,
everything tends to surface. And what starts to surface is partly the dark things and is partly the light things. And one of our main practices is the practice that they must learn fundamentally, and that's a spiritual practice, not to feed darkness.
Every single one different.
Not to indulge in this dark swamp of guilt, of fear, of anxiety, of past. Past is past. Past cannot be changed. And your future depends on what you do in the present time. If you nourish darkness in the present time, darkness will be there in the future. So we give them techniques every day to think and to become mindful. When are they trying to nourish darkness? And we try to encourage them to let this go. This goes far, far beyond, the problem of taking drugs or being clean. This is a life process. This is basically a spiritual process. And everything works through the building up of the willpower.
It's a different culture. Your mind is taking in different other things. I haven't even thought about doing heroin, really. Apart from last night, I was wriggling about in my bed, and even then, I lay there and thought, do I really want it? I thought, no, I don't. I'm not craving for it.
After 5 days at the monastery, Rebecca's body is finally beginning to rid itself of the drugs. Unable to give her any painkillers, Mike has arranged for her to have some acupuncture to help ease her symptoms.
One could be quite concerned, but I've seen far worse withdrawals with other people at Temkrabok compared to Rebecca. Those sort of pains are very much part of the symptoms. It's the norm.
Totally consumed by pain. Wishing I'd stashed some fucking Valium. It's so easy to get some in it. Just to take one at night, not to get off my head, just to ease this pain a bit. If I hadn't hit heroin, I'd feel completely alright. No fucking chance of that though, is there?
One of our main tasks with Rebecca is to encourage the warrior part of her, not to encourage the victim part. She has it somewhere, I think, but the skill is how to bring it up, how to make her believe and discover that she is stronger than the pain.
Oh yeah. Lisa's coming on now, eh?
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
I'm getting better and you're getting worse. Just think, man, 2 weeks you'll be clean, feeling good. You have to rely on fuck all. You've got to start eating, man. She's vomiting every day and you're not eating.
Fucking rice, fucking rice. That's all it is, isn't it?
That's what I like it, man.
You like it?
I like it. A lot. Oh, you do?
Horrible.
No, I do, it's nice. See, what you got to do, you got to start eating, yeah? Drinking loads of water, loads of diurolite, forcing food down you, loads of fruit. Going to steam baths twice a day, staying there for as long as you can. Even if you just go in there for 2 minutes at a time, do you know what I mean? Or even a minute, come out for a couple of seconds, cool down, go back in there for a minute. You get sweating, you just get the process going, isn't it? You just lay there, it's going to take that extra day or two longer, you know what I mean?
I haven't got any energy, Nothing tastes nice, nothing. It's texture.
By the next morning, Rebecca is experiencing the worst symptoms of drug withdrawal. It's been 6 days since she last took methadone or heroin.
When you feel like taking drugs again, don't forget, you know, the pain you have. That's what your body tells you now. And if we gave you a pain relief, you would get out of here the way you have came here, and you don't know what you have done. You have done to your body. It's like a war, you know. Just go through it. If you have the power to go through it, you will win.
John Power, a volunteer nurse, keeps a close watch on Rebecca's condition throughout the day.
The pulse is steady. And we checked the temperature a few minutes ago. That was down this morning. She was a bit feverish last night, but she's still hot, but not as hot as she was. But they should be dropping day on day, and that should reflect in how you're feeling.
Fucking hell! Fucking bullshit. I want to go home.
You want to go home? Now we'll all be there again in a few days.
Fucking why do it this way? The most fucking painful way out. Stupid bitch. Everyone said I was fucking mad.
There's nothing substantially wrong. You're withdrawing, and it's an uncomfortable period. The plan is regular small amounts of exercise, regular small amounts of food. Pain in your tummy will gradually reduce.
Simon is feeling physically stronger and is hoping that meditation will help combat his mental agitation.
Hopefully over the next couple of days my brain will start calming right down, my whole body will calm right down. I can get in there and do it and concentrate on it, so then maybe it'll have some more effect and will relax me. But at the moment, everything's so messed up, you know what I mean? The body levels and whatever, especially in the brain, chemicals are flying all over the place when you start coming off it, just everything comes to life again.
Rebecca is also beginning to feel better.
It's hard to see the other side at the moment, but I know it is there. Just always, no paracetamol, no alcohol. Do you know what I mean? Fuck's sake, I'll be just pleased if I don't stick fucking needles of heroin in me or methadone. I'll have the odd joint, do you know what I mean? And the odd fucking drink, so fucking what? I'll be chuffed to fucking pieces. As long as I don't have to take fucking heroin anymore.
She is still very weak, and Mike takes her out, hoping a change of scene might lift her spirits.
Taxi! Taxi! Where would you like to go, madam?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yeah.
Right. Let's go. Paddington Station, please.
Yeah.
Here we have one of the biggest budgers. The size of that.
Yeah.
Huh? Is that big or isn't it? Huh?
This is nice getting out.
Should try and find some shade on the back here.
Look at this. That's from the abbot, from Longpaw.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Doesn't turn. What do you think of it?
"12 days into the treatment, Rebecca and Simon are physically free from drugs. They're getting stronger every day, but sleep continues to elude them both. Before they leave the monastery for their rehab centres in England, they have one last talk with their mentor, Fra Hans.
There is not too much to say, but a great lot to do for both of you. A new chapter of life can be done if you want. If you do the right thing. So everything that counts is trying to get on the right track. And if you get to these rehabs now, try to be wise, try to be mindful. Doctors and nurses, in the West, they try to nourish the focus on the symptom. And then one always talks about what is bad, what hurts, what is not okay. And this gets bigger and bigger and more powerful. So be mindful. Look what happens with your energy. Look where your energy goes. Look what makes your energy grow. Look what makes you feel, like a vegetable. And then, the nurse, can I help you? Can I help you? And you get smaller and smaller and weaker. Yeah, as a monk, I should not say kick their ass when they when they are. Yeah, you see. Okay.
Thank you, Ham.
Mike is hoping to bring 40 more addicts here over the next 2 years as part of a research study comparing the Tamkrabok treatment with treatments in the UK.
Well, I really feel that it really has an effect on their self-esteem and confidence, that they really feel valued, that they're, able to come to somewhere like this. It's halfway across the world. It really gives them another insight into life, gives them a whole lot of things to think about. They'll go home with all sorts of ideas, thoughts, feelings that will really give them that chance to move forward.
It's an amazing place. It's the scenery, the people, the culture, your surroundings. It's completely different to back home. That helps take your mind off what's really going on, you know what I mean?
It is very different, and you are exposed to everything, every pain, even with getting your blooming period, you think you'd be on some painkillers, but no. It probably helps in the long run going through all the pain, because you've got that to remember, haven't you? Because all the other detoxes you've just knocked out through them, or given painkillers and muscle relaxants, which I wouldn't have said no to them a few days ago, that's for sure. And I certainly wouldn't say no to a sleeping tablet now, because it's just getting silly.
I slept right the way through last night, first proper night's sleep. Because before it was just an hour here and an hour there. But last night it was from like 8 o'clock straight through till 5 o'clock in the morning. And that was good, brilliant. I feel spot on now. Just can't wait to get home. down at rehab and start getting fit again. That's it. Through, done with.
After years of struggling and self-defeat, you have chosen now to make the hero's journey. And don't forget one thing. The hero is not made in those proud hours after victory, but in those long, desperate and hellish hours while he passes through darkness without giving up. The gong has been hit. Good luck to you.
I don't want to touch heroin ever again after Thailand, you know. No, I don't want to touch. I don't want to have to wake up in the morning and have to pump something into myself to even feel halfway normal. I mean, I am struggling around the idea of never being able to have a drink again because I'm 29. I want to go out. I want to have a laugh. Do you know what I mean? I want to go to parties. I mean, they're saying, you know, it's not ideal to go out for 2 years, but that just isn't going to happen, basically. So I want to lead a normal life. So I think if you get too wrapped up in the fact that you can't go anywhere or do anything, then that could also make you lose it, basically, and maybe end up relapsing that way. So it's got to be, I don't know.
Rebecca and Simon are at separate residential rehab centres away from their families and drug-using friends. Here they are being supported in their battle to remain drug-free through treatment known as the 12 Steps Recovery Programme.
In Thailand, they've got a different philosophy, basically concentrate on strengthening your mind and just, it's hard to explain as you've actually been there and spoken to one of the monks, but the way they talk, everything makes sense and it clicks. Things click for me out there. But here, they're sort of telling you to hand everything over to a higher power and let them deal with it, and that you are actually completely out of control of your own life now. And you have to sort of accept that. But I don't like the idea of not being in control of my life. And I find that hard when they're saying this is the only way to do it and this is how it's done, and then they think it works when blatantly they're not, because I mean statistic keeps on coming up that 98% of the people that come through here will actually go back out there and use it sometime, you know what I mean, in their life.
I haven't craved heroin once, not at all really, but a bit of crack occasionally. You have these relaxation classes and they say go back to your favourite place, and for the first few weeks I was ending up in a crack house. So I come out of there more stressed than when I went in, fuming. But now I tend to try to go back to Thailand, which is quite bizarre. I go back there with our hands and that, so it's obviously a positive thing really. Now I look on it as a real godsend that I did it, because I couldn't have done it any harder way. I think you tend to forget quite how hard it is, especially doing it with absolutely nothing. But no, I look at it as a real positive thing, basically because I got through that, I've done it, succeeded in that.
But I could get around him, so like 10 people. It stayed with me, it's something I'll never forget. It sticks in my mind most about Thailand. It was for our hands. It was so good. It was just... it was as though he was made to be there, do you know what I mean? Because he fits in so well and talks so much sense, and he's got such a soft voice, and you can just sit there and just sort of look at him and just... He'd turn up at the right times, you know what I mean? I'd just sort of be led there, wide awake, staring at the four walls. And he'd just turn up and start talking, and we'd go for a little walk and that. And that'd be good because it just lift your spirits up again and just make you think about what really is important. I mean, I am very grateful for Thailand. But, like I said, they've given me the choice, and now it is down to me.
Why have you come to this country seeking asylum?
Last year, more than 100,000 people sought safety in the UK. BBC One tackles the controversy surrounding asylum seekers with fact, opinion and real-life accounts which will challenge the way we think.
Please, what more do I have to do?
Please, sir, calm down. I do understand your situation. Let's discuss your options.
Without all the facts, who are we to judge? Asylum, Wednesday the 23rd of July on BBC One. Get to the truth. On BBC One now is Life Just a Snip for celebrity hairdressers. What do they do all day?
If you're one of the world's most respected hairdressers, then how many heads do you have the pleasure of knowing every day, I wonder? And what if